Shalom. Y'all bless. May y'all bless you and keep you. To everybody that's out here seeking truth right now and trying to do the right thing, living in His word, living by Yah's word, knowing that there's a standard and trying to live out that standard. So today I just wanted to, bring to everyone's attention Isaiah chapter 10. Isaiah is a great read to try to understand the times that we're living in. I reference this book daily. It's essentially, has everything in here of what happened in our history and what is to come, and it's just layered and it just goes over and over and over. You could see the pattern of what has happened, where we are, and what's coming. So real quick, I just want to show you what I see in Isaiah 10. And it reads, those who write out evil writs and compose iniquitous documents. Well, who does that in today's world? Who writes our laws that literally are, they go against Yah's laws, right? To subvert the cause of the poor, to rob of their rights the needy of my people. Our rights were taken away? When were our rights taken away? How were our rights taken away? Slavery, land, land grabs, birth certificates, social security numbers. All this whole system is meant to rob God's people in general, and take away their rights, right? Through word magic, through spells, through our consent, our involuntary consent, because we just don't know how things work, because they speak a different language, that legalese, and we don't know how to speak legalese. Continuing, that when widows may be their spoil. So it was the plan of the government. I think it was like the 1940s, 50s, and 60s to get the men out of the homes, to break down the households, right? Put women on welfare, separate the men from the women and children, so that the government is only dealing with women at that point, right? And then the men, they get thrown in jail, they get, going from house to house, sleeping with, creating different families, different situations. But it was a plan, against us. And the fatherless children, their booty. Again, birth certificates, social security numbers, all that stuff. We don't understand how this money system really works, so we don't see it like that. But when you think about it, because we sign up for Social Security and get a Social Security number and inform on ourselves, and we have children, obtaining a birth certificate, they trade our bodies, our dead bodies, our corporate bodies, as stocks and bonds on their markets, on their financial markets. That's how the world really runs. They open up a trust in your name as soon as you sign that paperwork, when you're born, as soon as your parents sign that paperwork. And that trust grows and grows over time, and your social security number is the bank account related to that trust, and the Federal Reserve is the holder, I think, of that trust, or they have access to your account. Anyway, what will you do on the day of punishment? So God is asking Congress and the people who are writing out these evil writs, these documents, creating these rules. What are you going to do when I come down? When the calamity comes from afar? Who are you going to call for help? And how will you save your carcasses, your dead bodies? Remember, the Sestu-Kv Act of 1666 turned our, we essentially we're lost at sea until we declare ourselves alive. After, we become lost at sea after 7 years of not being heard from by the government. So they just assume that we're dead. So that makes us walking around dead carcasses, if that makes sense, until we, authenticate our birth certificate and go through that whole process to declare ourselves alive under their dumb system, right? From collapsing under fellow prisoners, from falling beneath the slain, yet his anger is not turned back and his arm is stretched out still. Ha, Assyrian, rod of my anger, in whose hand as a staff is my fury. So God's telling us who he's putting in charge, or who he allowed to be in charge during this time. It's the Assyrian, right? I send him against an ungodly nation, right? America, I charge him, honestly, it's the world right now, but we'll stick with America for the purposes of this. I charge him against the people that provokes me to take its spoil and to seize its booty, right? To take all the money and all that stuff and to make it a thing trampled like the mire of the streets. But he has evil plan. His mind harbors evil designs, for he means to destroy, to wipe out nations, not a few. He wants to take over the whole world, right? For he thinks, after all, I have kings of my captains. Was Calno any different from Carchemish, or Hamath from Arpad, or Samaria from Damascus? Since I was able to seize the insignificant kingdoms whose images exceeded Jerusalem and Samaria's, shall I not do to Jerusalem and her images what I did to Samaria and her idols? But when my Lord has carried out all his purpose on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, he will punish them. So when God's done with his people, when he's done over here, one thing at a time, right? He's going to take care of the majestic pride and overbearing arrogance of the king of Assyria. Who has majestic pride and overbearing arrogance right now that's trying to take over the world? These are the words on the page, right? I'm just asking questions. For he thought, by the might of my hand have I wrought it, by my skill, for I am clever. That's what the leader of the stout heart of the king of Assyria, right? I have erased the borders of peoples. I have plundered their treasures and exiled their vast populations. What is the person in the White House trying to do right now? Every single day, right? Let's just think about what's going on versus what is saying here in this book. History repeats itself. You got to know who's who. That's why they hide themselves so well. They don't want you to know who's who. They don't want you to know that everybody is still here. These Assyrians, these Syrians, all these people are still around. The Amalekites, Jebusites, all still here, just by different names, right? Different names. I was able to seize like a nest the wealth of peoples, as one gathered abandoned eggs. What's that sound like? Easter egg hunt? Who worships Ishtar publicly? Come on, let's put this thing together, right? All of that goddess worship and the hand signals when they're sitting down doing their interviews, we have to open our eyes, right? God is telling us with his word what's going on, who is who, just by the subtleness of these words on the page. The wealth of the peoples as one gathers abandoned eggs, right? Your mind should be thinking about who gathers abandoned eggs, Easter time, Easter, Ishtar, who worships Ishtar right now publicly. Let's, continuing. So I gathered all the earth. Nothing so much as flapped a wing or opened the mouth to peep. All right, now this is the Most High speaking. Does an axe boast over him who hews with it, or a saw magnify itself over one who wields it, as though the rod raised him who lifts it, as though the staff lifted the man? Assuredly, the sovereign Lord of hosts will send a wasting away in its fatness, and under its body shall burn a burning like that of a fire, destroying frame and flesh. That's your skeleton and your flesh. It shall be like a sick man who pines away. The light of Israel will be a fire, and its Holy One a flame. It will burn and consume its thorns and its thistles in a single day. Thorns and thistles, again, metaphor for the people that are wicked against the Most High and his law. In the mass of its scrub, and the way that I get there is that's what it says multiple times over and over in multiple different passages in the Bible and the Old Testament. It compares thorns and thistles to wicked people. In the mass of its scrub and its farmland, what trees remain of it shall be so few that a boy may record them. So there's going to be so minimal, the lucky people, if you want to say lucky, that escape this thing, whatever's coming, that a child can count them. And in that day, the remnant of Israel and the escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more lean upon him that beats it, but shall lean sincerely on the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. So we're not going to lean on our oppressors, our masters, our slave owners, all those people, the government, food stamps. Well, we don't need any of that, We just need to talk to our creator, Ahaya, right? Because he's going to provide. He's going to send the former rain and the latter rain to give us food in our land. We don't need to go to Stop and Shop and to Giant and to Winn-Dixie and Food Lion and all these places. We have our creator that provides for us, right? But only a remnant shall return, because only a remnant trusts the creator right now. We still don't get it. We don't want to read these words. We want to trust in a false God, a strange God, that is not the creator. We want to trust in Jesus and Catholic and government and all these other people, right? All right, only a remnant of Jacob to mighty God. Even if your people, Israel, shall be as the sands of the sea, only a remnant shall return. Destruction is decreed. Retribution comes like a flood. For my Lord God of hosts is carrying out a decree of destruction upon all the land. Surely thus saith the Lord my God, O my people that dwells in Zion, have no fear of Assyria, who beat you with the rod and yields his staff over you, as did the Egyptians, right? It's the same thing happening as when the Israelites were in Egypt. They said, do more and still pay the bills on time. Go get more straw to make bricks, and we still want the same amount of bricks, right? It's the same thing happening today. They still want their money. They still want their taxes. They still want us to do all X, Y, and Z, and our taskmasters are afflicting us. And they still want, the electric bill, the this bill, the that bill. We still got to make it happen. For very soon my wrath will have spent itself, my anger that was bent on wasting them. The Lord of hosts will brandish a scourge over him, as when he beat Midian at the rock of Oreb, and will wield his staff, as when he did over the Egyptians by the sea. So God is telling us, Ahaya is telling us where to look for answers of what is to come. We got to go back to the book of Judges, right? Because that's when the information was given about the book, about Midian and the rock of Oreb. Or we can go to Exodus, because that's where the information was given about the Egyptians and the sea and all that story, right? So in order to flesh this thing out and to really understand what the Most High Creator is saying to us, we just continue down this rabbit hole and trying to understand what happened in those other stories to pick the bigger story and get the bigger picture together, right? And that's all I wanted to show you guys, is like, when you want to know what's going on in this world, God says to seek his face. He doesn't tell us to seek his face just because. Like, no, you can do this literally all day, every day. It's just chase down this word and try to get to the bottom of things. And there is no bottom, but you can try. And during that process, you are transformed. Your spirit becomes stronger. Your will becomes stronger. Your eyes open up more, because now you're starting to understand why the creator, in each story points you to a different story and points you to a different story, because he's trying to give you the big picture, but the entrance back to Eden is being guarded, right, by the sword of Ahaya, right? The turning sword. It's just turning us every which way, because he wants us to really show with our actions that we understand how to seek his face. It takes dedication. It takes action. It takes heart. It takes effort. You're not going to sit in church every Sunday for 30 minutes or an hour and expect to go to heaven, or expect to go have things really be good for you. That's not life. And it's silly that we thought like that for so long. But that's not what our creator wants from us. He wants us to understand, that we live in a dark place right now, but his word, even in this dark place, stands true. All you got to do is stick by it. And if you cleave to his word, you'll be okay at the end of this thing. But you have to at least get that, right? And the rest of our reality should be pointing us to his word. That's why everything's so bad right now. Everybody's going through it. Nobody has money. Nobody has food. Somebody's dying, or somebody's dealing with some major issue, or God's calling people, but everybody wants to continue doing what they're doing. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. I hope this helps somebody out there. I love you guys. Salah.